Hello everyone, and this is a video I wish I hadn't had to make so soon. So, Snetterton went really well. The car, the engine's really starting to show the performance of the car. It's so much quicker. Down the straights I was a good 10 mile an hour up on what the car's ever managed to do previously. And even at Snetterton it did really well, even though that's like really a big CC circuit. So I was happy. Second race, it just didn't feel like it was going quite as well as in the first race. There was a strong headwind though, so I just put it down to the fact that the headwind must have been coming straight down on the back straight. And everyone's times were slightly down, so I thought that was it. But when I got back home, took out a spark plug and found that it was not a headwind. So the engine is back out again. When I actually pulled one of the plugs, this is what I found. So if you can see there, the tip has nearly disappeared completely, which is showing signs like detonation or overheating, and actually the insulator on the inside has also disappeared. Disaster. So I did a compression test. All the other cylinders were very, very high compression. This cylinder, although it's still good compression, was down compared to the others. So I've ended up taking the head off. The head shows signs that it's got hot. Now, just with the naked eye, it doesn't look like it's cracked or anything like that. The valves seem to be seating okay, but you just don't know. But then the sidewall of number 2 cylinder it's showing signs that the ring has got hot, because there's a little bit, very, very light scoring on what is a brand new block. So the issue there, I think, is one of the rings might have got too hot, which is gutting. So I'm not messing about. I could have stuck a spark plug in it and gone, oh, let's go. I'm not chancing it with this beautiful engine, so it is going back to SRD. So the issue was, if it's overheating, why was my temperature gauge only reading 40 degrees? So when I put the engine in, start the car up, run it at tick over, bleed out the air that you can, fill it right up. I use this, which is basically a taller filler cap. I don't have a header tank, and so I'd make sure it was brimmed, essentially. Now, ever since I put it in, built this car, you can warm it up to 80-90 degrees quite easily at tick over and get everything out, do some heat cycles. As soon as you start driving on the road, the temperature would drop right down to, say, 50 degrees. I just thought that was the cooling being really, really good, too good. So I was going to put a thermostat in this engine to bring the temperatures back up. The theory goes is that actually the engine is air locking somewhere in the actual head. Because I'm not running a header tank, I'm air locking. So as soon as the revs pick up, it's essentially my thermostat for the water is there. That is getting exposed to air more than it is to water. And so with the air temperatures being lower, it's actually reading really low. I think the car's running cool, when actually it's starting to run very hot. And I think it's blasting water through. So it's cooling sometimes, and then it's air locking, overheating and not. So this might explain why I have had a lot of issues with heads and rings and all sorts in the past on the top end. So that's going to go back. It's already on some stands. I'm going to put it on a pallet, send it back down, and I've purchased, excuse for the mess in my garage, it's chaos at the moment, this. So AH Fabrications, it is a header tank. So the idea being is this is going to sit higher than the engine point. I'll half fill that with water, and essentially the bottom connection, that is going to go out and connect to that water pump inlet. So the water pump is pulling into the engine because this is coming from the radiator. So it's going to connect into there, and then I'm going to change this cap to just a blank cap, and then this outlet I'm going to use as a small hose that goes back to that connection on the header, which essentially means any air bubbles that come through will bleed back to the system. With this not being a pressurized cap, it's sort of sealed. When the engine gets hot, it's going to start blowing a bit of water probably back through, but it's also going to be sucking on the header tank from the water pump outlet or inlet. So that is the plan. So then a blow off cap will go on there. That very top connection that you see, that'll just blow out to a bottle in case it gets incredibly hot and overheats. I'm probably going to put that up on the bulkhead somewhere because that's quite a nice high position. It's definitely higher than everywhere else, but I'm not going to fit that until the engine's back in, so I know exactly what space I've got. So that is the plan with this, and hopefully that is the end of all my mysterious issues that I've had since I built the bloody car. Other issue, I did find it banging through gears sometimes, so I just thought it was my driving. Clutch biting point was a little bit high, so I can alter that when it goes back in. But it was a shock through the system. So pulling this out, pulling the gearbox out, I've been underneath, and the diff has a crazy amount of movement on it. So on the actual input shaft from the gearbox, you got a massive amount of rotation before it starts turning any of the actual wheels. So it uses a Triumph Spitfire diff, and they use crush washers on the pinion gear that goes through. And I think I haven't rebuilt that diff since I built the car, so it's been through a lot over the last few seasons. So I believe the diff is basically warning me that it's about to go pop, because in the second race especially I was getting huge vibrations through the car that sort of got worse and worse as you got faster and faster. You might have noticed on the actual videos from the races that it was sort of oscillating the camera because of the vibration. So that diff is going to have to come out and get checked over, because I don't want it to go pop because it's a decent diff. It's just going to need new crush washers, new set of Timken bearings on it, and away we go. And also I'm going to put a drain point on it while it is out of the car. That is probably another little video though. So unfortunately that means Cadwell is not going to happen, although I might be able to get that there, and SRD might be able to turn it round. Unfortunately, my day job that pays for this insanity that I seem to keep doing with everyone else, I'm very, very busy at the moment, so I've just not got the spare time to put this back together sensibly. I could throw it all back in, just take it on the track and see what it happens on the day. I am not doing that with this beautiful thing, because I think I am very, very close to the car being very, very good and staying that way. So that is the end of this quick video, really. It was just an update. I'll let you know as SRD split that and tell me more about what is wrong with it. Hopefully not much. Doesn't look like it, so fingers crossed. I'll stick it back in and I'll do a video for the header tank and the diff, and we will go from there. So aiming for Donington next, which is a 40-minute race, so that should be really good fun. So until next time, see you later.